Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Common question I usually get is about thermal therapy. KT, when do I put ice on a muscle, a joint, a pain? When do I put heat on a muscle, a joint, or a pain? So in today's video, I'm going to briefly and quickly explain when you should use which one. So let's get into it. First thing I'm going to say, and what you're probably not going to like, is it's going to be very intuitive. And the reason I say this is because it depends on what kind of problem you're dealing with. In some situations, ice is going to be best. In some situations, heat is going to be best. And in some situations, you might want to use both. So let's start with ice. Now, when you put ice on something, the purpose of that is it's going to constrict your blood vessels, causing the blood flow to slow in that area, reducing the inflammation. Okay, so when you think about that using our beautiful critical thinking skills, you usually want to use ice therapy right after an injury. If you ever played sports in high school, you know, as soon as you sprain the wrist, sprain the ankle, did something to your shoulder, they sent you to the physical therapist office. What do? Get you a bag of ice, told you to put it on there. That's because when you injure yourself in that kind of way, blood is already running to that area, and that's why it gets swollen. And then once it gets swollen, it can sometimes feel worse. Prime example, when I was in high school, I played tennis and I sprained my ankle. Went straight to the physical and I was fine. After I sprained my ankle, I got up, I played a little more, I walked on it. As long as I was moving, it was good. However, after that, I went and took the after school bus home. And so since I was no longer moving, I was just sitting. The blood, so when you're moving, you know, blood is flowing to all the areas you are utilizing. But when I'm just sitting, since my ankle was sprained, all the blood just rushed to that inflamed area and it caused it to be swollen. So by the time I was getting off the bus, I literally could not walk, even though just an hour ago I was walking just fine. So the problem with that kind of thing is when you injure yourself and that area gets inflamed, it gets swollen. So you want to put ice on it to really reduce that swelling and that inflammation. So if you ask yourself, when should I use ice? Well, definitely right after an injury, an immediate injury. You may want to ask yourself, what if I didn't just experience an injury? I just have chronic pain. Like I consistently get pain in this area. Again, that could be due to inflammation. So if you constantly wake up and you know your bones are hurting because maybe you have arthritis or you have pain in your knee for something that you did yesterday, or just like a chronic ongoing pain in your knee, that could be due to the fact that that area is continuously getting inflamed. So your best bet in this situation, in my opinion, is going to be ice, because you want to reduce and constrict those blood vessels so that the inflammation in that area reduces. I hope that makes sense. Now, heat does the exact opposite. So whereas ice constricts the blood vessels, heat expands the blood vessels. So when you put heat on an area, that's going to cause blood to flow even more faster. So going back to my previous example, if you already have a lot of blood flowing to an area that just got injured, putting heat on it is just going to make it worse, because you're going to get even more blood going to the area, causing it to be even more inflamed, causing the area to swell even more. Heat swells. That's why when you go outside and you're doing stuff, especially, you know, like you wear your Apple Watch, you ever notice that when you're working out, all of a sudden your wrist feels so constricted? That's because as you're working out and your body is heating up, your cells are expanding. So everything around you feels tighter. So it's not wise after a workout or after an area is already inflamed to go and put more heat on it. That's just going to expand it even more. So the benefits to this, though, is because heat causes things to expand. When you are feeling stiff, when your muscles are feeling tight, when you are having just like a overall stiffness in your body, heat can help put some blood into that area, make you feel a little more loose, and then you can combine that with maybe like a massage or doing some kind of rotations and movement to really work out that muscle group versus doing that when the muscle is stiff and sore. So that's going to be a good time to use heat therapy, is when your muscles are sore or they're feeling super tight. That's why I say that this can be intuitive, because only you know what that feels like. Only you know if the area feels like it's inflamed or if it feels like it's stiff and achy. So you have to kind of decide which is which. And like I mentioned earlier, you could use both. You could be having both things going on. And I am personally a fan of using both. Again, if you just injured yourself, like just sprained or broken something, that's just ice. And if you are experiencing overall muscle stiffness, again, that could just be heat. If your muscles are already stiff, you don't want to go and put ice on them because that's just not going to help. That's going to make it worse. But if you're just experiencing ongoing pain or just an area in your body that just keeps giving you problems, it could help to first put ice on that area to constrict those blood vessels, cause the area to reduce the inflammation, and then switch to heat to expand the blood vessels, causing blood to flow through that area and get it healed and get it working. Because when your body is inflamed and blood is flowing, it's releasing oxygen and nutrients to try to repair that area. So you definitely do want it to do that. It could just be uncomfortable sometimes. So adding the heat after the ice could then, cause blood to flow even faster because you just constricted them so much. So now it's going to flow a lot. That area is going to start to get repaired, and then you can again constrict them again, and then back to heat. So you can maybe do 5 minutes of ice, 5 minutes of heat, 10 minutes of ice, 10 minutes of heat, kind of going back and forth. Sure, you can read this online, but you never want to apply ice or heat directly to the skin for too long. So you want to have some kind of barrier in between it if you're going to have it sitting there for more than 3 to 5 minutes. And that's just because you don't want to damage your skin. And then lastly, you do want to think about your environment. If you already, for example, have been outside and it's like super cold, you don't want to come in and do cold therapy because you just got cold therapy while you were sitting outside. You may want to come in and do some heat therapy. Same way, if you just finished working out or doing an extensive work day, you're already overheated, cells and your blood cells are already expanded. You don't want to come in and then apply more heat to your body. So that'll be time to do the opposite, or let your body cool down to a natural state before you do either heat or ice. That's all I have for this video. Per usual, it's always best to consult a health physician if you're having ongoing extreme chronic pain. But if you're just looking for a simple, like I need something to help after I work out so my muscles aren't so sore, or I need something to help this back spasm I have or whatever, then these could be some tips that you can use to kind of help you in between you being able to go in and get the proper treatment that you need for whatever issue that you are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Hope this video was helpful, and if it was, you know what to do. Go ahead and give me that like. I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, don't forget to crush it.